Hey everybody, this is Chad Daniels, and you have landed in the middle of somewhere. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming back. Across from me, as always, is Cyrus Amundson.
Hey, the way my nieces greet me is insane.
Okay, how old?
I know this is the point where I go, "Hi, it's nice to be here," but it's
Yeah, no, I can tell something's on your mind. I can see it in your eyes.
so they're Greg's kids.
Okay.
So Elin is 6-ish.
By the way, that's wild.
Yes, I know.
That's fucking crazy that she's 6.
She's the age of the show.
Yeah.
She's the age of the show,
Right.
essentially. Maybe
Yeah.
a little younger. And then Frankie is 3 or 4, so about that. So
Somebody wanted a boy.
and they got one. They got one. They got a third one. So there's 3 of them. But the new babe, the young boy, he's not active. He's
Doesn't
just a
count.
baby.
Yeah, just a baby.
So we got in last night.
Okay.
BTK and I.
Yep.
And so this morning we went over to my brother's house. So Cody could eat French toast alone at my brother's kitchen table. Justin, go ahead and put that picture on the screen. This looks like an artist in New York trying to recreate what people in the Midwest do.
It seems very like your brother wants so badly to cook hunting camp food, and no one in his family wants it. So he's like, Cody's coming?
Yeah. Let's get this boy some
You
French
want some
toast.
French toast? You want some French toast with mousse on it?
Yeah, hey, how about some what would you call them? Would it be moose belly, pork belly?
Sure, yeah.
So the moose bacon would be made out of moose belly. So we walk into the house and I get in, I'm standing and there's nothing around me. And you know in a horror film where somebody looks to the left and then they look right and somebody's like all of a sudden they're like, where'd you come
yeah.
from? So I don't know where they appeared from, but all of a sudden they're right in front of me and I was like, oh. And Elin goes,
Like the twins for The Shining?
yeah.
Okay.
And Elin goes, boys have nipples. And I was like, hey, man. And she goes, I have nipples. And I go, uh-huh. And she goes, do you think buttholes have nipples? Greg, what how have I not seen Greg yet? How am I getting these questions? So
Because Greg's still in the shower flicking his butthole nipple, probably.
So we get in, and then Cody eats a Lonely Trail French toast, and then so it's pre 9 o'clock. I just need to establish that.
Okay.
So Greg is remodeling his house, and he's building what we're calling the Bear Bar. If you know anything if you've listened to the show long enough, you know that my family shoots what they eat. I don't know that I did that right. But then they put the heads on the walls. They taxidermy stuff. So in my brother's, like in this room downstairs, he's built a bar into the wall, and there's just a giant bear's head coming out of it. And then beneath it is a bear skull. You're like, do we need the skull? And there's cigars everywhere. It's very mannish.
Yeah.
You know? And so... But he has all these whiskeys. So here's the thing.
Are there lines on the bar so you can measure your dick when you pull up to it? Just got to slap your dick on the bar and be like, I'll take a 7, whatever 7 is.
First, I just want to. Part of the reason I'm telling everybody this is because if this episode, the switching isn't great, it's probably because Cody's drunk. Because not only did he feed him French toast, so Greg has been collecting whiskeys.
Okay.
And he's like, he really wanted Cody to try because he has all these whiskeys. So have you met anyone who is hunting? They're whiskey hunting.
Me.
You're doing this.
Here's what sucked.
You're doing
Hold
this?
on. I have a...
You're one of the people
time
doing
out.
this.
I have in my possession some of the greatest bourbons and whiskeys made by humans. And then I was like, okay, I got them all. Now what? I'll stop drinking. What a fucking loser.
I can't believe you're one of these people.
Well, I just went around and found them because I was like, it's like when you
Don't
go
minimalize it. Just
no,
say,
no. I am one of the people, but I enjoyed it because it's like going to thrift stores and finding something that no one else has. It just, like, I'm bored. I raised 2 kids and now I'm fucking bored.
So this is how Greg described it because basically...
He shouldn't be raising... He should, first of all, your brother should not be hunting whiskeys. I hunted whiskey after my kids were out of the house. He's got little kids running around wondering if buttholes have nipples. He needs to fucking tend to his children and then later on worry about whiskeys. He's got the fucking creepiest Jerry Maguire situation going on. You know the human head weighs 8 pounds? Dogs and birds can smell fear. Do you think buttholes have nipples? I mean, he's crazy.
So I did not know anything. I don't drink, and so I didn't know anything about it. Like, there's these guys collecting whiskeys, and then they trade the whiskeys, and then a liquor store will be like, we're gonna have one rare bottle, and like 150 people cram into the smallest whiskey or like liquor store you've ever seen, and they buy tickets for the opportunity to buy the whiskey.
Yeah,
you don't even win the whiskey. So we went to one, and I was like, so what are you going to do when you get this whiskey for free that's expensive? Like, oh, you have to buy. I knew they had to buy it, but I just kept saying that to guys. And they go, oh, you have to buy it. And then I just go, that sucks. I ran that bit over and over.
Wait, you won a raffle and you have to still buy it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Nobody loved it.
That's how it worked in Fergus, though. In Fergus Falls, when there's a rare whiskey, they'd put it out, but you had to buy 2 lesser-known whiskeys in a package to get that whiskey, and you still had to pay for that whiskey.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a real sucker's game, and I'm a sucker.
So where BT Cody and I are from is we're down near Kentucky, the home of bourbon and
Whiskey Trail, brother.
Yeah, so apparently the liquor stores down there get some stuff that they don't get up here. So Greg was like, hey, he'll send me, and he's very nice about it. He's not pushy. He's like, if you can't do it, who cares? But these stores are by your house. They just got something go. So I do it every once in a while when I can, and I got one, and I got in the car, and I was like, I got it. And he was like, isn't it fun? And I was like, I don't know, man. He goes, it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. And I was like, yeah, if Easter eggs ruined a bunch of your family events.
Yeah, if you opened up an Easter egg that you found and you had to pull out a piece of paper and do whatever it said, and one of the things was hit your wife, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like an Easter egg hunt if the Easter Bunny kept talking about how he wanted to have sex robots, right within like earshot of your Easter mom. That's what it's like.
It was like if you found an Easter egg, opened it up, pulled out the paper, and it just said, you only get to see your kids every other weekend.
Yeah. So it's exactly like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
So he made Cody, he's like, Greg looks at the wall of whiskeys and very proudly, he goes, you see how little's missing there? It's because I can have a drink and stop. Like almost to the point where it's like, you're like, can you? You need to bring that up? But Greg doesn't. He does it. He's a sipper. He's not a drinker. But I was like, yeah, it's because you hate the taste of alcohol. I used to see him at weddings like forcing
plugging his nose.
Yeah. And then he's like swearing up and down what it tastes like, but he can't prove it because I'm not going to drink it.
Right.
And so he like pulled Cody into the bear bar, and Cody's tasting whiskeys pre 9 a.m. before we record a podcast.
When else are you supposed to drink whiskey? Now, I can confirm your brother with all his animals because this summer when I came over to your lake place and then we went into his cabin and Poe was in there and Poe was like having the greatest time ever and then ran downstairs and all of a sudden I heard like that and I go, what the fuck's going on? So I ran downstairs too and my dog is cowering because there's a huge bear rug with the head still attached to it and my dog thinks he's about to be eaten if he moves.
Yeah. Yep.
So there are these comedy club owners, right? They own like 8 comedy clubs around the country. And the mom's name, it's a family affair. Okay. It's Kevin and Renee are the parents. And Renee, I was at the Louisville Comedy Club down in Louisville. Shout out to Robert Hawkins, one of the funniest jokes about Louisville of all time, in my opinion. He goes, I landed and I go, it's nice to be here in Louisville. And I go, it's Louisville. Where are you from? And he goes, oh, I'm from Fort La La La. And I still think it's great. I say it every time I'm in Louisville. So I get there, and then I get a text from Kevin, and he goes, hey, what are you doing for dinner? And I go, I have no idea. And he goes, we're here. So they flew to Louisville because Renee, a long time ago, had promised me if I ever worked that club, she would come in and we would taste all the bourbons and whiskeys that they had. But this is a club that basically whiskey and bourbon companies will give them the best shit they have as long as they have it displayed on their bar. So when people are walking through, they can see it.
Oh.
And so we sit down after 2 shows and all of a sudden it is like, okay, here's what you do. You take this whiskey, first of all, you take a huge breath in with your nose, and then you put the whiskey in just a little bit and you swish it around, and then you breathe out of your mouth. And then this whole thing, how you're supposed to drink whiskey so you can really taste it.
This is how they teach like women who have a hard time orgasming, like how to like breathe deeply beforehand, relax in and out. It feels very similar.
I don't know about that.
Why would I know that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm sorry you've been to that class. Now, but by the 3rd whiskey...
I just like education.
Yeah, no, I get it. By the 3rd whiskey, you're kind of buzzed, so you're doing all the shit wrong. Mm-hmm. You're putting the whiskey in, swishing it, breathing through your nose, choking because you're fucking inhaling whiskey. And it's like... So let's picture 10 whiskeys in. I'm sitting there and I think I can drink. This is back when I was like good at it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, that was pretty good. And she goes, there's 20 more. And she's just sitting there like nothing's ever happened. I'm wiping a fat man mustache off my lip. I mean, unbelievable. So I don't know, man.
You got pounded under the table by a comedy club lady.
Yeah.
That's not a great sentence either. I'm on a bad run here. But she put you under.
Yeah.
What
Pounded under a table by a comedy club lady.
Which honestly is a lot of that is that sentence probably belongs in the history of comedy, but I think you'd have to change lady to man.
I'm going to tell you something. Now, I've never told this story out loud in my life. I've written it down.
There we go. Hey, Bales. 6 years and we got one.
South Dakota.
No one knows it. This is a premiere.
Sioux Falls Funny Bone. There is an owner. I'm not going to give any names to any of this stuff, but I'm just saying.
Jake, Tony, Tim.
There's an owner that's a female.
Terry, Tracy, Sandy.
And so I'm outside. It's the host I'm featuring, and then there's a headliner. And I go out and I'm waiting in the car with the host, and the headliner will like crossing the street, and he goes, just a sec, I'll be right out. He goes in, and it's like taking a while. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I go, I'm going to go get him because we want to take off. And I go back into the club, and he has the owner up against a pillar just going to town on this owner. And I'm going to tell you something. Normally I feel like, oh, Chad, should you be gossiping? This lady also...
Yes, you should.
This lady also then became a general manager at a hotel in Omaha. And when I was there one time, she brought 12 coworkers and she got in for free because the comedy club owner was trying to make a deal with this hotel for like free rooms or discounted rooms. And they were such assholes. I ended up calling I said twat in my opening joke. And this lady goes, you can't say twat. And I go, I say whatever I want, cunt. And I ended up getting fired from the Omaha Funny Bone for 3 years. I wasn't allowed to go back there for 3 years. And I was asked by way ups in the Funny Bone, these dudes, the owners, they go, do you want to email this woman and apologize for calling her that? And I go, I'll email her and tell her, remind her why I did it. But I'm not going to say I'm sorry. I mean, you don't want to... Let me just say something right now. If you don't want to be called a cunt, don't be a cunt. It's so simple. It's so incredibly simple. And so anyways, same lady. And I just think it's so funny because I could just tear down 2 people's lives.
And let me tell you something. You don't have to.
I'm not going to.
Well, no,
I never would.
But listen to me. You don't have to. Dear Middle of Somewhere Army, LinkedIn exists. There are records of comedy clubs. There are job resumes. You have more than enough information to dox this story. Let's go. In the comments on YouTube, first person to figure out who it is, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you free tickets sometime. and then we'll see if I follow through.
And I'm going to say maybe we shouldn't use a podcast to
Dox people.
have an entire army go after somebody.
Let's continue. Let's get away from doxing people.
Yeah, let's.
And let's focus. So you getting pounded under the table by a comedy club lady made me think this is you're aging.
Yeah.
This is a big month for you.
This is a huge month. So I've never felt older. My daughter.
You've never looked older.
My youngest, well, that's how it should be. My youngest is turning 21 years old.
You had her when you were 50?
Yeah. I did, which is crazy. And wait a second. Now this isn't going to make sense. And I'm turning 50.
Wow.
A couple days into whatever. But
yeah,
it's insane. Wait a second. My daughter's birthday's today. 21st birthday.
Okay.
I am getting old.
It's not today, but it's the day it comes out.
It's the day it comes out. Yeah, I was doing the math.
It's a few days from now. Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks, I'll be 50.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels gross because I've said the whole time leading up to this.
But you've got like a nice age spectrum. She's 21, you're 50, Kelsey's in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
So it's kind of like if there's a current event that happens, you get every generation's perspective.
Yeah.
You get a grandkid in there and have your mom over. You can play that game where, like, we need somebody from the 50s.
Mind the Gap?
Yeah, Mind the Gap. Yeah.
So
have you played that before? How'd that go?
Absolutely. Oh, it went great. I can answer all the questions. That's the problem.
Yeah.
How you like me now, motherfucker? So
I was just curious how your nephews did during it. Keep going.
Oh, my God.
Don't. We finally got by it. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Wow, that was a pretty good noise.
Yeah, that was nice.
What was I going to say?
A lot of moose comments.
I blacked out.
So you're 50. She's 21. Kelsey's somewhere in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of generations in your house.
So Kelsey is actually, and this is kind of crazy, but she is closer to my son's age.
Mm-hmm. I did know that.
Yeah. And I just wanted to put that out there in case Brazzers is listening. Set me up for life.
Dude, let me tell you something. I don't know how people are going to interpret that. But let me tell you
There's only one way to interpret. What do you mean?
I don't know that there's only one way to interpret that.
I'm just saying, make me an offer, RedTube.
Are you and your son going to fuck your girlfriend?
No.
Because I'm just saying you should ask our producers how they received where you were going. I think, how sometimes in comedy you know where you're going, but you have the narrative inside your head, and then the words come out, and everybody else goes, what did you say right there?
Yeah.
That's what that felt like.
Not both of us, just my son.
Yeah, I thought Isaac was going to fuck Kelsey.
Okay. Okay, here's the thing.
When jokes go wrong.
So, can I tell you one of my new favorite things to do?
Please.
Okay. Take this home with you, kids. Now, you have to have a trusting person. So if I asked Chad for his phone because I was going to look something up, I'm not getting it from him. There's no chance. Or if I told him to look something up on his phone, he would just think I was sending him to that picture of the black guy with the huge dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Or what was the one? Sad Lemon?
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Sad Lemon Party?
Lemon Party?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So
Sad Lemon is a...
Sad Lemon
is a comedy album.
That's in my next special, yeah.
No,
it
actually is already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, if you have somebody who's willing to give you your phone, or they go, will you look something up for me? And you're like standing next to them, you just be like, hey, I'm like, there's this new clothing company. It's called Peebles, right? Just go to the search bar and just go type in P-O, and then when they get to O, just scan the suggestions underneath it. And the stuff that usually comes after P-O on a man's phone is usually R and N and then all the stuff. I came up with it because I was hanging out with a friend, and he was in his, you know how you have your phone, when you tap that little square at the bottom, it brings up all your windows?
Yeah.
So he was like, I had this earlier, and he tapped his thing, and I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Close them out.
No shit.
You finished. Close them out. Like,
Yeah.
this dude had you should be arrested.
What do you have, unlimited data? Close your porn, dude.
How are you coming back to the same ones? There's so much porn. Find new porn.
Yeah, quit edging on your phone.
Yeah, it's I think that's a fun little game.
Yeah.
to get someone's phone and just what comes after. And if you have to add an R, you shouldn't.
Sure.
You know, but give it a whirl and just see what your friends are doing.
By the way,
right
what
now.
comes after? The person who's holding the phone. I had my phone out using it for merch once, and all of a sudden I go, "Do you have my phone?" And it was a person in line, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm trying to figure out your Venmo." And I was like, "Can you not be on my Venmo on my phone? Can you not send my fucking limit to your Venmo? That'd be great." And then still take a shirt.
Like Cody and I were talking about this in the car. I think that is, with the way people obtain sexual stuff these days, like when somebody dies, dude, like, and think of 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, we have a member of our family who, when he passed, someone in our family got given his hard drives. He's like, "There's music on there," and they're like, "Not much."
Yeah.
And
I mean, the music is bone ticka dunk dan, bone ticka lid, bone ticka dunk dan.
And they, so I like to think about like where we're going with, dude. Because think of now, like that back then, you just hid porn on a hard drive. You know, you're gonna go into like someday somebody's gonna go into their grandpa's closet 40 years from now, and they're gonna be like, "How many sex dolls did he have?
Yeah.
How many sex robots are in here?"
Yeah, I had a real bad experience with that with a guy my brother and I used to work for. He was like the head maintenance guy at a high school. We worked for him every summer. And
Hold on for a second. Please let me finish this laugh. The head maintenance guy at a high school.
it was a big
You
high
mean that
school.
guy? You mean that guy had some secrets?
Oh, it was a big high school makes it better? That's just more fucking girls for him to look at. And you know he always would say, "Hi, I'm the head maintenance guy."
But yeah, so there was a guy, we worked for him every summer in high school and in college, and he didn't have any other family, so he kind of treated like he would go out of his way to get stuff for me and my brother for our birthdays and Christmas and things like
Okay,
that.
nice
Show
guy.
up
Now
for
you
the
look like an
holidays.
asshole, Chad.
I don't look like an asshole at all. Looks like he was fucking setting you up to take a trip in his van.
We call it grooming.
Yeah.
So
Who's a
so,
good Cody?
So when he passed away, he didn't have any family like pass things down to, so we passed a bunch of stuff down to my brother and I, which was mostly framed pictures of eagles, and a few and a lot of NASCAR memorabilia.
Yep.
But there was
Velvet
one
Jesus?
box. there was
Velvet
one-
Jesus?
Huh?
Was there a Velvet Jesus or a Velvet Elvis?
There wasn't a Velvet Jesus or a Velvet Elvis,
Okay.
but there was a box marked miscellaneous where we found something that I can only describe as what it looked like, something that would load a miniature cannonball, and it just the box said cock weight in cursive.
You sure?
Did you hear it?
Cock weight. You got to stretch that dick, dude.
That's what I'm saying. The amount of guy, like, if we could just, we hide sex stuff so much. Goddamn, can somebody do me an evolution, like a documentary on the evolution of technologies men have used to try to get bigger penises?
Yeah.
Oh, give me all of that.
By the way, are you sure it said miscellaneous and not miss, comma, anal us? Question mark.
He's just got a manual in there on jelqing.
I don't even know what jelqing is.
Look it up.
Do tell.
Jelqing is, Justin, look it up. I think you can, Justin, look it up.
Why?
Because I want to
You know why he's fighting so much? Because he knows what it is.
Yeah, he can just
tell us.
Just tell us what jelqing
Just
is.
tell us from memory.
Jelqing, I believe jelqing.
Open up the screensaver on your phone and read it.
Cody, look up jelqing. Look up jelqing. I think what it is it's like a technique of penile massage that is supposed to, there's no science behind it, but it's supposed to expand the blood vessels or the, I don't know, wiener meat. And
Jelqing is a penis stretching technique that
Yeah.
involves applying pressure and repetitive motion to the penis.
so it's masturbating.
The
Yeah.
theory
Who
is that
starts jelqing and finishes the exercise?
the theory is that small tears in the penis will heal and make it larger.
So like muscles.
No thanks.
By
Like
the
that's
way,
that's what they do when you're lifting.
we're
weights.
about to get sued for a bunch of broken dicks from our listeners. Just so you know that. I will say, like,
Yeah, I'm a pass on the jelqing.
jelqing,
Can I ask you a question?
Well, hold on for a second. Again, kids, if you're my children and you're listening,
Turn it off.
stop right now. I find that after like sex a lot in a row, or I'm on the road and I catch a fucking hot streak, I find that I am bigger.
Okay.
And so I think this jelqing works, but I don't think it's forever though.
It's called swollen. You're swollen.
Yeah, I don't think it's forever. I think it's right. It's like the guys that before they shoot an action scene, they're out fucking ripping bicep curls,
Yeah.
and so they look great. I think it's the same diff.
Obviously the exact same diff.
Yeah.
I think it's the exact same diff. At what point did you, now maybe you really like your own, like we know you don't like your body,
Right.
but maybe you like that part of your body.
I like when it's being touched.
Stop.
Well, I'm just telling
I'm
you.
just saying, was there an age where, because I think most people are insecure about those parts of their body.
Sure.
You put me in that category. For sure, Justin. I don't have any
I mean,
proof on that.
I
but for
put
sure,
every
Justin.
dude ever in that.
Not
category.
every dude, not Josh Wasmond.
I don't know who that is.
I went to high school with him. He's had a
Oh.
penis the size of a freight train.
By the way, shout out Josh if you're single and you're still down in Worthington. There's a
Let me tell you something. I remember
lot of listeners down in
I
Worthington.
remember our gym teacher was like way too insistent that we showered after gym. We're like, dude, we shot free throws. I don't need
Yeah.
to shower before I go. I'm not old like you. I don't smell like a foot when I walk
Right.
down a hall. But he like really pushed us, and it was kind of like the thing in school. Everybody knew. And that's probably not a good sign. We're talking about head and maintenance guys. But if you
Yeah.
have a gym teacher whose reputation is showering after gym is really an important philosophy for
Yeah.
him, like there's probably more going on there.
I think, people often ask, they go, what would you tell your 13-year-old self now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, if my gym teacher was insistent on showering, I'd look him square in the eyes and be like, suck it clean or shut the fuck up. All we did was walk laps. So suck it clean or shut the fuck up.
That would be a cool story to have been sent to the office for.
So just a sec. This can't be right, Chad. Sit down. Did you tell the gym teacher to suck it clean or shut the fuck up? Be like, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was going to get there. He was going to get there eventually. Have you seen his shower policy? So, but he had that reputation going in, and so if you're like a ninth grader, or a 10th grader going into high school, we were 10th through 12th in high school. You like hate your body. You are very insecure. You went through puberty upsettingly late, like one of the two men at this table.
Yeah.
And
two of the two men at this
okay,
table.
two of the two men.
Oh,
at this
dude,
table.
I wore boxers in the shower till I was in 9th grade. What's up?
Yeah, it's so my point is you're dreading that moment, and then you walk in, and here is Josh Wasmond walking an elephant through the locker room.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You're like, hey man, can you pick up your dick? It's gonna get athlete's foot.
Yeah. So
Well, you can't have your dick dragging on the shower floor. Nobody wears flip flops in 8th grade.
our star center sprained his ankle on your dick. Could you be more responsible in the locker room? What?
Hey everybody, we're gonna work on jumping rope today. Josh, can you come here, please? We're gonna swing your dick over the heads of these other kids.
Was there an age where you fully embraced and were like, I guess I'm cool with, I know your upper body still to this day, no.
Sure.
But was there a point where you're like, it's fine?
I think you're talking about my dick.
Yeah.
I think I think it's when you get a compliment from the opposite sex.
Sure.
I think is the day everything changes.
See, I treated those like you treat your upper body. You liar.
You fucking bitch.
You liar.
Have you been with Josh Wasserman? No, I think it's when you get that. I mean, you can tell when somebody is like when they go, "Oh my God, I love."
I all of a sudden I regret this.
When they go, "Oh my God, I love your dick," but it's the same look.
Somebody said that to you?
Time out. But it's the same look that you gave your parents when you're like, "No, I didn't take the car," right?
Oh,
It's
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
And so then you go, "Well, fuck, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Whatever. At least she's letting me.
Yeah.
Like what? At least she's touching my wiener."
Sure.
And then, but then you can tell when it's earnest.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the one time you say it's earnest, you lock that away for fucking ever.
Sure.
Because that way, if someone else sees your dick and they're like, "Really? Where's the rest of it?" And you're like, "That's not what what's her name said," and you keep that close.
Sure. Yeah. It's you keep your wins close and your losses.
You try to be a goldfish.
Yeah. Let's be a goldfish.
Have it because you have a goldfish-sized dick.
Yeah. Let's shift. We'll stay on genitals, but
Okay.
let's shift out of adults and into babies.
Okay, so shifting from our dicks to a bigger dick. Got it.
So, my son,
Yeah.
18 months old. So, he came when they were home for Christmas.
Careful now.
When they were home for Christmas,
Okay.
My sister Janine at her house have you seen like these little kid, like they call them roller coasters, but they're not really. It's basically a plastic track that it has a couple of dips in it. And then there's a cart at the front of it, and they go get on this little like.
Your child fits in it?
It's like a.
No, I'm being serious. Like, is it a kid rides this thing?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was being dead serious. No, I've never seen.
Yeah, it's like a little cart that you sit on top of that's got handles. That's like the size of anything, like a little rocking horse, right?
Okay.
And then it's a track, and the track is like 10 to 12 feet long. It's about 1.5 feet wide. The wheels lock in at the top, and they ride it down. Justin will put a video to go with this on them.
Oh, sweet.
And so he went home. My sister Janine has one for her grandchildren, and he was the sort of into it. And like, I am apparently the sort of parent where if my kid even kind of likes something, it's at our house immediately. I'm like, I'll buy it.
Yeah, no,
I'll buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
We know that.
Yeah.
Also, how confusing is your fucking family when a bunch of kids have to go, "Hey, that's my uncle," and there's like talking about someone 15 years younger than them?
It's a little confusing.
very strange.
So it's somewhat confusing.
But I kind of love it too.
Yeah, do you? I don't know if you just said the first thing.
I like
the
to
way
mock
you
it.
said it. You do like to mock it.
Yeah.
And so it's a roller coaster, and he loves it. So he falls in love with it. We buy him one for the basement.
Uh-huh.
He's obsessed with it. So he does like to ride the roller coaster. He likes to ride it backwards. Not a fan of that. But then the
Ooh,
other thing
risk
he does,
taker.
because he like slides a lot, so he doesn't totally understand vehicles or roads yet. So it's also kind of looks like a slide. So he'll like slide, but it doesn't really slide. It just goes a little bit, and then he'll butt scoot forward, and then he'll slide down the next one all the way off. So those are the way he uses
So
it.
it's like going down a slide at the fair without the potato sack?
Correct.
Okay.
100%. And so his grandparents, Jenna's parents, they got him this gift, and it looks like a semi-truck trailer, right? And it is, I would say, for size comparison, it's about 1.5 feet to 2 feet long, and it's about 4 to 6 inches wide.
Okay.
That's the semi. But then you unfold the trailer of the semi, and it's these two little race tracks
Okay.
that they're still about 4 inches wide, but they go about 2 or 3 feet.
Okay,
Right?
so 2.5 feet long, 6 inches wide. We're talking Josh Wasserman. Okay.
and so, but it has, like, basically it's meant for Matchbox cars.
Yeah.
So you put a Matchbox car in there, you push the button, and it shoots them down
Oh,
the track.
okay. Yep.
But it has the same
Like curvature?
curvature.
Okay.
And so we got it out and we set it up, and he kind of looked at it for a while. We made the cars go down, and he was like, I don't know. And then he tried to start riding it as a slide.
yep.
And so it just looks like he's just dry humping a semi-truck track. And it is like, we can't have it out when people come, because all day he's like, Daddy. 'Cause, like, whenever he wants me to look at stuff, he goes, Daddy. And he like points at the sky. And then I walk with him over, and then he just dry humps. He just dry humps this like toy, and I don't know there's no way that anybody'd be like, well, I see how we got to this point. I can't explain that away where my son's like, Daddy, watch me, Daddy.
Yeah, take
Like,
a video of it.
there's no way they think there's another toy in my house that he reasonably did this on that
Right.
led him to this moment. They're like, so where'd he learn this from?
He sees Kevin scooting his ass on the carpet, and he's like, that reminds me, Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I have adult kids that don't hump anything.
That can't be true. I don't want to break your heart, but that
That
can't
don't
be
hump
true.
any inanimate objects.
Yeah, that can't be true. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, that's very true. You shut your fucking mouth. Olivia and I went up to the cabin. So she was in Costa Rica. Then she came home for a month for J term.
By the way, When we were at Greg's this morning,
Yeah.
I don't know how this came up, but he was just talking about, he referred to something in Costa Rica, and he wasn't saying like, let's go. You know how Greg is doing bits every minute of every second of every day? I'm not convinced the whiskey searching isn't a bit, but
Sure.
he
That explains his tight pants and boots. Is that a bit?
in
Yeah, you heard me, Greg. Come and get it.
in passing, he mentioned prostitute resorts in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
How do you think my daughter paid for school? Okay. That actually makes me want to slit my own throat.
Yep, that one sucks. And,
Actually, I want to take a fingernail clipper, just barely get my carotid,
and just watch it drip bleed
and
to death.
bleed out.
Yep. So, but is there a thing where they're just like, come to the resort where we? I was like, what do you even mean?
I really-
Greg? What's
I
a
really don't know.
prostitute resort?
I really don't know, but it's a truck stop.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Okay.
a nice, fancy name for a truck stop.
So you and your daughter are up at the cabin.
And we had we're talking about the truck stops we went to in Costa Rica, and she is home for J term, which is like a whole month.
Yep.
So she's gonna go home in about a week. We go up there, and I go, "Hey, what do you want to do? I'll get a hotel." And she goes, "Why? We have a cabin." And I go, "Well, there's no running water." And she goes, well, "That's okay." And I go, "I don't think you really get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no running water. You're gonna have to piss outside, and we're gonna have to shit in a bucket." I have a bucket, so a 5-gallon bucket. You put a bag in there. So I have these bags that are like kill the scent.
Are we at time yet, Justin?
It kills the scent, and you snap on a toilet seat to this bucket.
That's an ice fishing toilet.
Yeah. And so we're I every morning we would go out to eat, and I would pound coffee until I had to shit at the restaurant.
Smart.
Yeah, very smart. Now, one of the things was kind of a bummer because I'm waiting for the bathroom and I know what's about to happen. And there's 3 people behind me that probably just have to quickly piss. And I'm just like, oh, God damn it. So I go in there and just destroy this
Run it
thing.
down. Yep.
And so I come out and I just go, might want to give it a sec. And then I just...
a year.
Yeah, and there's no way a sec was going to help. So I'm handling my business away from the cabin. For 3 days, I make it.
Okay.
Olivia can't do that. Once in a while, she's going at the restaurants, but then she doesn't drink coffee until like 3 in the afternoon because she's a college student. And then all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, I have a stomach cramp." It's like, yeah, I bet you do. And so she hasn't shit for 3 days. And she goes, "Dad, I have to go to the bathroom." So I go, "All right, I'll put the bucket together." And she goes, "I'm not shitting in a bucket." I go, "Those are the rules." And she goes, "I'm going to go shit outside. It's
That's
pitch black." And I go, "You're going to have to go way back in the woods. I don't want you shitting in the yard." And she goes, "Okay, fine. Where's the flashlight?" And she's like freaking out. She goes, "I have to shit, Dad, please." She's panicking. Give her the flashlight. She goes out there. I'm going to go out and pee. And all of a sudden I open the door and I hear, "Shut the door!" She is too scared to shit in the woods, so she indeed is shitting right in the yard. Like a fucking animal. Like an absolute animal shitting in our yard. And so she comes in and I go, "You shit in the yard?" And she goes, "Yeah." Just like a fucking, like a second son. She goes, "I have a picture of it. Are you ready?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not ready. I don't want to see your shit." She goes, "I pooped and I thought it was going to be super small." And I turned around and saw it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I have to take a picture of this." I mean, it was insane. The fact that one bag did it was incredible. But she scoops it up like a dog. That's basically what she's doing. Like she's scooping up
you
dog
got the
shit.
inside out bag, you pick it up, and then
Yeah, and then you have to spin it and tie it and all that. Then you have to check your hands. Did I do it right? All this stuff. So it was 20 degrees when that happened, right? Which is 12 degrees below freezing.
Yep.
Not horrible for where we were.
Okay.
The next day, it is, I can't remember, 5 degrees, feels like minus 12 because there's wind. I get up at 4 in the morning. I check the weather. I'm like, I have to pee so fucking badly. I go in the recyclables. I pull out one of those, what do you have? A long, skinny water bottle where you can't put your dick in it. So you have to almost like attach like it's the space station.
You dock it.
Yeah, you have to make sure your pee hole matches up with that.
That never works. It's the pee comes out too fast. It's not going to work.
Well, I think I gave myself a UTI. That's true. I've been dealing with some pubic discomfort ever since this happened.
Go to the doctor.
I think it's been because I've been holding it so long. So
Sure.
So you make sure that the hole is in the hole, right? And then you start to pee. And then you kind of have to lift it up because the pressure gets weird and it starts to like suck your dick meat in. So you have to pull it back just a little bit. And so now I'm peeing, everything's fine. And then I go, oh my God, I have to shit. And so I go, I'm not. So I start putting the bucket together and this is the last day we're at the cabin. So I put a garbage bag above the garbage can on the counter to make sure I would remember to bring the garbage out so it didn't stink. And then I go, what am I doing? There are 2 toilets in this cabin. Why don't I, instead of making a toilet, why don't I put a garbage bag in the toilet, put the lid down and shit? And I shit in such comfort. I just scooped up the bag, spun it, threw it outside, done deal. I get up and tell Olivia and she's like, what the fuck? You made me take a flashlight outside and shit in the yard and you didn't think of this? And I go, I only feel panicked when I have to shit. My brain only solves problems when it's about me. If you have to shit outside, no problem. She has called me almost every day and been like, hey, I shit in the toilet. Good thing you're not here. Make me go outside. Oh, it's fantastic.
I need to transition away from that.
Transition alert. Transition alert.
Do you know what's not shit? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Hello. So
we just got flagged by the new administration, by the way, for saying transition alert. What were you saying?
So so this is coming out. This is coming out Monday. So just a couple days ago, Kelsey's new special came out.
Yeah. So 6 days ago.
Yep. 6 days ago when this came out.
Yep,
but it's been out for a couple days, and it's like I'll do it first because I'm not her significant other.
Sure.
She when she put that last special out that blew up and
3.6 million on YouTube.
Went crazy.
Yeah.
You could tell things were going to go a good direction for her.
Right.
I think whenever that happens, the question always is, just because things go a good direction for someone doesn't mean they get better at stand-up. We know
Correct.
an endless amount of people who get very famous and actually get worse at stand-up. This one is better. So I'm going to tell you something, because Anthony Leo, who we both love with all our heart,
we sure
works
do.
at 800-Pound Gorilla, let me, and Kelsey's probably going to get mad at me, but get mad at Anthony, because I was working on some directing stuff, and I wanted to see some things, and so he showed me some stuff in Kelsey's. Dude, it is, that's when I saw it. It's so good.
It's great.
It is a step up from the last one, which is the number one thing you could ask for. It's so good. I think my question, so go watch it on YouTube right now. You want to give the name?
Yeah, it's called Mark Your Territory.
Yep. And my big question is, how are you going to handle the meteoric rise of your beautiful and talented girlfriend in the future? Because it's happening.
Now, are you saying a rise like a meteor, or are you saying mediocre?
No, I said meteoric. Meteoric?
I know, but you got to be real.
I said a real phrase.
You got to be real careful with those words. So I just want to be clear. You're talking about a meteor gaining speed and gathering.
Yeah, I think I used a very common phrase.
Okay.
My point is,
I know
she's going to get more famous, and
she
everybody's
already
going to
is.
see how hot she is,
It's
and
going to
you're
be the
going to
best.
have to hear it.
It's going to be. I have no problem with that because all I want to do is retire.
Yeah, I love that.
And so I am waiting for her to buy me my stuff. I don't need a lot. I just want to retire. But this special, I was there, and Justin was there too. It was fucking lights out. And she would get off stage and she'd be like, oh, I don't know about that crowd. And it's like, where the fuck were you? Because we were all back here going, God damn, again? It was crazy. So I think it's going to be great. And she is on, I think I can say that. Oh, yeah, because this week, she's going to be on Good Morning America talking about this special. And she's going to be somewhere on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon again, talking about this special, and a bunch of other podcasts and shows and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see what this one does. You can get it on Hulu or you can get it on YouTube, whatever you want to do. I don't know if it matters where you watch it as far as numbers goes, but I would just say make sure to watch it.
Can I ask you, have you brought up to her that part of your retirement is your best friend also retiring, and I'm gonna take significantly more money. Have you broached that conversation?
I had let her know. I
with
said, Regan and I want to retire